One similarity you'll find on our MT Top 40 look at the tight ends is that many of these athletes find success not only on the football field, but the basketball courts as well. And the number 3 tight end is no different. An All-American career on the hardwood at Great Falls High, but it was the football fields that came calling in college and eventually the pros. Number 3 is former Great Falls High standout Brian Salonen. Salonen secured all-state accolades as a tight end and linebacker for the Mighty Bison in the late 1970s, while doubling down with all-state and all-American honors on the Great Falls High basketball squad. Athletic genes were passed down from his father, Bill, who landed in the Montana State Hall of Fame, a 2-time all-conference selection with the Montana State basketball squad.
I was offered a scholarship from Brick Breeden and the coach at Montana State, and so I did go to Montana State and played basketball for 4 years and football 1 year only during my junior year.
But Brian Salonen would flip the family's colors from Bobcat Blue to then Copper of the Montana Grizzlies.
About the first 18 years of my life, Dave, I was a Bobcat, and my father went there. Our older brother went there also, and shoot, since the time I grew up, I was planning on being a Bobcat also. Knowing the Bobcat staff for many years, we were good personal friends with a lot of them, and they just, I think the Bobcats kind of thought that I was just going to go to the school and to the university just because my dad went there and because I knew a lot of people there, and I wasn't real happy with that situation and came down here to Missoula, and Coach Donovan and his staff really wanted me to come here and play, and that's when I made my decision to play here at the university.
I coached Brian in high school. I never coached him at the University of Montana, but you know, I think one thing was probably his heritage. You know, his dad was a tremendous athlete, his uncle was a tremendous athlete, and Brian had great work ethic, and just, you know, he was one of those young men who did what he was asked to do and then did even more than that. And he, you know, very intelligent and very talented, but, you know, he wasn't probably the greatest athlete in the world, but he worked hard enough to make himself the best athlete at the University of Montana at the time that he was playing, and consequently got him into the NFL.
Work ethic and motivation led to success with the Grizz, including a true freshman season that saw him take the field. The league took notice his sophomore and junior campaigns, naming him second-team all-conference, but it was the senior season that stands out the most. Salonen hauled in 68 receptions for 832 yards, earning first-team All-Big Sky and a trio of All-American honors. He finished his college career with 150 receptions, 1,882 yards, and 12 scores. Each of those was a school record at the time.
Just knowing Brian and watching the way that he worked every day even as a freshman and a sophomore in high school, he just had that determination and commitment that he was going to make himself a real special guy, and so no single event, just a day-by-day commitment to excellent work ethic and you know, very, very intelligent. As I said, he studied the game, he knew the game, and this helped him, I think, be very successful.
The Grizzlies awarded Salonen with the 1983 Team MVP honor, and he was selected for the 1984 East-West Shrine Game. NFL scouts came calling, and the Dallas Cowboys picked him in the 10th round of the '84 draft. Salonen would play in 32 career games, mainly as a member of the special teams unit, before landing on injured reserve in 1986, ultimately ending his career. UM inducted Salonen into the Grizzlies Sports Hall of Fame in 1993, while the Montana Football Hall of Fame made him a member in 2016.
When you saw how he practiced every single day, he came out and practiced like this was going to be his last practice. You know, one of those guys that you actually had to tell occasionally to slow down a little bit, and that very seldom ever happens. But, you know, just his drive and his personality and his commitment to wanting to be an NFL football player, I think, showed every day by the way that he conducted himself, both on and off the field. You know, Brian is a special guy off the field, too. He had a foundation going for a good number of years up in Great Falls. I believe it was for diabetes, if I'm not mistaken, and of which his mother has you know, had a real struggle with through his life. But he he did as much off the field as he did on the field, and you know, was an excellent student. So, you know, I guess you'd say he was the all-around All-American boy.
Bob Lowry, our offensive line coach, always said that when the Bobcats and Grizzlies play football, it's a Super Bowl of Montana, and I think without a doubt it's the biggest athletic event in the state every year.
Brian Salonen landing at number 3 all-time. Montana's tight end history, 3 up, 2 to go. Continue counting them down the rest of the week at montanasports.com. Richie Malby, MTN Sports.